Dumelang, my name is Mkhadi Rametse. Today I just want to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mkhadi Rametse, where I simplify legislation and give information just because I love to. In me, when giving the information, it just fulfills me. So today I want to talk about the issue of funding. I know that a lot of small businesses will be interested in this, and I hope that through this information sharing, it will help you. So most of you know I'm coming from the B space. So within the B space, there's what we call codes of good practice. Within the codes of good practice as the legislation, there's an element. That element, we call it enterprise and supply development. That element is meant to equip and empower small businesses by giving them support. And the support, the codes clearly state the support in terms of what we call contribution metrics. So when you look at the contribution metrics, it will say a company can give a loan with interest free, and if they give it with interest free, they'll gain so many points. If they give it as a standard loan, they'll get so many points. And then it says you can give a grant. If you give grant, you'll get 100% recognition. And it continued to mention some of the things, like when you are discounted in terms of what you're supposed to pay, now you're discounted. That company that we call a measured entity will still get points, and you will get profit because now you are no longer buying at that rate that everybody is buying, but you are buying at a discounted rate. But there's another metric there, a line item there that I love, is overhead cost. Where a company can pay your overhead cost is very important. For me, if I was to choose, I would say, please pay for my rent for the whole year, office rental, please pay for the salaries for the whole year, phones, etc. I know that I'm relieved and I will get maximum profit. So that is another kind of value that you can get. So in terms of the funding, do not look at only the monetary value. Also look at the non-monetary value because it has so many benefits. Ne? So that is on enterprise and supply development. We would talk about enterprise and supply development in the next few weeks as an element itself. So we'll talk about it. But today I wanted to pass the funding thing. And we've got another kind of funding, which is just a loan from the bank. That one is challenging to a business person because the bank is in the business of making money. As a result, they will add the interest, and sometimes that interest will become a burden to your business. So most of the time, especially if you are not sure about your market, do not go into the loan with the bank unless you are 100% sure of the market that you can be able to repay the loan. Don't go into it. We've got another one, we call it vendor financing. So vendor financing is where your customer will give you most of the time loan or a grant. If it's a loan, it will say you will have to repay it within 10 years or 5 years. But within that, from the profit, we will take part of the profit, repay the loan, and take a smaller percentage, give you as a dividend, so that they continue to earn points. Obviously under BEE, because now you would have acquired some ownership. But if it's a grant of some sort, it will also come with condition. If it's a grant, it will never be a grant without conditions. All the time there would be conditions. Just look at the conditions and be comfortable about it. And okay, now let's talk about the government funding. So government funding has, how do I put it? Okay, government has different kinds of funding, irrespective of the industry you operate in. I have been close to the DTI while I was working at SANAS, and I learned so much about their incentive and financial assistance. And when you look at their website, they will list the kind of industries that they will be what you call giving finance, your agro processing, all those things they give finance under. But there's a program there at the DTI, they call it Black Industrialist. This program came in 2013 when the new codes were amended. So this program is meant to empower those that are creative, those that can manufacture. If you can manufacture, you are thinking about manufacturing earrings, clothes, etc. So there's that department, Black Industrialists, they can be able to help you. But there you need to make sure, actually for any application of funding, you need to make sure that your company documents are proper. There we are not going to be talking about non-compliance. You need to be compliant across, whether UIF, whether SARS, whether CIPC, you need to have been compliant. So when you do your application, you can't do your application and you're still non-compliant and you expect government to give you funding. It's not going to work. First, work on your non-compliance before you apply. It's like tendering. You can't get a tender if you're not compliant with other rules. So, but even on funding, it works the same. Just make sure that your company is compliant. So DTI is funding that, and it has started since then, and we are seeing some of the results, although the employment is not the way we anticipated, but at least people are getting employed through that program of Black Industrialists. I had the opportunity of attending that conference this year, and I said into my heart, only if we can have many of these Black Industrialists, we would deal with the issues of unemployment in South Africa. So if you're in manufacturing, somewhere in Botlokwa, you're manufacturing your shoes in your own backyard, and you want to try and manufacture, go big, like what do you call it, this thing is, I forgot them. Yeah, if you want to manufacture big on your label, why not just try and go big? That's one of the things. But we've got an agency, we call it CEDA. CEDA is Small Enterprise Development, né? So what they do there, they would help you. If you've got an idea, this is how they will help. They will help you from developing your proposal, make sure that all your documents for business are in order, and sorry, I've got a bit of flu, and make sure that all your documents are in order. And they've got a lot of incubators across provinces. Actually, yeah, across provinces, anywhere you are, there must be a close CEDA business. So you can approach them because they will take you from an idea to a business person. So you need to be approaching them. But we've got another one that I just remembered now, is the small business department. Small business department. Actually, they've got a program where they give, I think it's 350, and that 350 you have to, they'll give you 50,000 as a grant and 300 as a loan, but with interest free. But this is what they will do because they want to try and make sure that small businesses work. So they would say, you want to open a salon. So for the equipment of salons, your hair dryers, your whatever you need for the salon, the cost is 300. Then they will give you 250 as a loan and 50,000 as a grant. And what happens there is that you would have to repay it. And sometimes I can tell you that loan is better because you would be able to repay it, and it will give you the motivation to say, look, I need to break even by this day so that I'm making profit. So those are some of the funding that I can remember now as I'm doing this video. But there's many more in terms of what the government is offering. Like all the departments you see in agriculture, they would have their own fund there to try and fund the farmers. In tourism, they would have their fund there to try and fund the upcoming business people that are having guest house, etc., etc. So you just need to look at where you are operating from, especially if you are not in consulting business, but you are in a real business that provide a service or sell products, then you can be able to get a funding. So for me, I'm saying go out there, look for the fund, make sure your business grows, because once your business grows, I know that my kids will be employed. And yeah, so this is the information I'm giving today. May God richly bless you. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.